When you think of birds, you probably imagine graceful creatures soaring through the skies. For centuries, they've inspired our fascination with flight and even influenced the way humans designed aircraft. But then there's this bird. It can't soar like an eagle. It doesn't migrate across continents. Most of the time, it barely flies farther than a few meters. Yet somehow, this humble bird has become one of the most successful birds on Earth. With an estimated global population of over 22 billion, the domestic chicken, Gallus domesticus, lives on every continent except Antarctica and has formed an extraordinary partnership with humans. So how did a shy jungle bird become one of the most abundant animals on the planet? Today, we're uncovering the incredible story of the chicken. The partnership between humans and chickens didn't begin with a cage or a farm. It began with spilled grain. Thousands of years ago, as early farmers cleared forests and planted crops, wild red junglefowl discovered an easy source of food near human settlements. The birds that were brave enough to stay found a reliable meal, while humans gained an unexpected ally that ate insects, laid nutritious eggs, and eventually became a dependable source of food. Over countless generations, this quiet partnership transformed a cautious jungle bird into the domestic chicken we know today. Deep within the dense tropical forests of Southeast Asia lives a bird very few people have ever seen. Unlike the chickens wandering through farms today, the red junglefowl is cautious, alert, and surprisingly agile. Every day is a fight for survival. Life on the forest floor is dangerous. Predators can strike from above, from the trees, or from the undergrowth. To survive, the red junglefowl evolved excellent eyesight, allowing it to detect movement long before danger arrives. Its real secret lies in being adaptable. Rather than depending on one type of food, the red junglefowl eats whatever the environment provides. Seeds scattered beneath trees, fallen fruits, insects hiding under leaves, worms pulled from the soil, and even tiny reptiles can all become a meal. But finding food on the ground comes with a serious problem. Instead of wandering carelessly, red junglefowl are constantly alert. Their heads snap upward every few seconds, scanning for movement. They live in small groups, and every member helps keep watch. If one bird spots danger, it immediately sounds a loud alarm call. Within seconds, the entire flock reacts, and when danger is too close, they don't rely on long-distance flight like many birds. Their wings are built for something far more useful in dense forests, an explosive escape. They burst into the air with incredible speed. Many predators become active after sunset, so instead of sleeping on the ground, red junglefowl fly into trees to roost. High above the forest floor, they spend the night safely out of reach of many terrestrial hunters. It's a simple behavior, but one that dramatically improves their chances of surviving until morning. But perhaps the red junglefowl greatest strength isn't any single adaptation. It's the way all of these traits work together. Unlike animals that became completely dependent on people, red junglefowl kept one foot in the wild. During the day, they could forage around farms and villages where food was plentiful. At night, they simply flew back into nearby trees to roost, just as they always had. If danger appeared, they could retreat into the forest at any moment. From the bird's perspective, there was very little risk and a lot to gain. Over time, the boldest individuals began spending more time around people, not because they trusted humans, but because they were less fearful than the rest of the flock. Those birds gained easier access to food, survived harsh seasons more easily, and raised more offspring. Generation after generation, humans unknowingly favored birds that tolerated their presence. People started keeping the calmest birds, protecting them from predators, breeding them for meat, eggs, colorful feathers, or even cockfighting. Once humans began choosing which birds reproduced, evolution took a completely different path. The pressures of the wild disappeared. A wild red junglefowl had to be cautious, fast, and capable of escaping predators every single day. A domesticated bird, however, no longer needed to worry about finding food or surviving the night. Humans provided both. As those survival pressures faded, new traits began to emerge. Birds became less aggressive, laid far more eggs than their wild ancestors, grew larger bodies, developed new feather colors, and gradually lost much of the wariness that had once kept them alive in the jungle. In other words, chickens didn't become successful because they left the wild. They became successful because humans replaced nature as the force shaping their evolution. After thousands of years living alongside humans, you might expect chickens to have completely lost the instincts that once kept their wild ancestors alive. But that's not what happened. In fact, many of the behaviors you see in a backyard chicken today are millions of years older than agriculture itself. Watch a chicken for just a few minutes, and you'll notice it constantly scratching at the ground, kicking leaves aside in search of seeds, insects, and worms. That's exactly how the red junglefowl forages in the forests of Southeast Asia. No one has to teach a chick to do it. The behavior is hardwired from the moment it hatches. Even their fear of danger hasn't disappeared. A shadow passing overhead can send an entire flock running for cover. It doesn't matter if the shadow belongs to an eagle, a hawk, or just an airplane. Chickens are naturally programmed to react to anything that resembles an aerial predator, because in the wild, hesitating for even a second could mean becoming someone's lunch. They also still prefer to sleep off the ground whenever they can. Give domestic chickens the choice between the floor and a high perch, and most will climb to the highest safe spot before nightfall. That's a direct inheritance from the red junglefowl, which escaped nighttime predators by roosting in trees. So if all these instincts remain, what actually changed? The biggest difference isn't that chickens forgot how to survive. It's that humans removed the need to use those skills every day. A wild red junglefowl must stay alert from sunrise to sunset. Every meal has to be found. Every predator has to be avoided. Every mistake could be fatal. A domestic chicken, on the other hand, usually has food delivered, shelter provided, and predators kept away. They grew larger, laid far more eggs than their wild ancestors, and became much more tolerant of living close to people. But underneath all of those changes, the original blueprint is still there. And every time a chicken scratches at the soil, dust bathes in the sun, warns her chicks of danger, or jumps onto a high perch before sunset, she's reminding us that beneath the feathers of every barnyard bird, there's still a little piece of the jungle today. More than 22 billion chickens live around the world. No other bird has formed such a successful partnership with humanity. And perhaps that's the greatest lesson the chicken has to teach us. Nature's greatest success stories aren't always written by the strongest or the fastest. Sometimes they're written by the species most willing to adapt. The next time you hear a rooster crow or see a chicken scratching through the dirt, remember that you're looking at far more than a farm animal. You're looking at the descendant of a cautious jungle bird whose partnership with humans became one of the greatest evolutionary success stories on Earth. And that's all for our little successful bird. Comment down below, what animal should we feature next?